In this video, we're going to walk through what is a responsive search ad and how to write good ad copy that actually converts, gets a good click-through rate, and is actually relevant to what users are searching, being search intent specific, ad group specific, and obviously comes with a good hook and all the features of what actually makes a good Google ad. So I'm going to go ahead and just edit first this existing responsive search ad I created from a previous video. In this example, I'm just pretending I am a landscaping company over in Scottsdale. Now, if you're running search ads for lead gen, you'll be familiar with two different kind of ads. There are call-only ads and there are responsive search ads. Responsive search ads are what you should be running 90% of the time, and later in another video we can break down call-only ads further. But just for the time being, I wouldn't really recommend you run call-only ads. You'll notice, and you'll especially notice this as you run Google ads and run them together, Google prioritizes this ad type. Google will prioritize responsive search ads much more than call-only. It may sound enticing that call-only, you probably convert much, much higher, but sometimes call-only ads will serve like a fraction of the percentage that responsive search ads serve at. So don't run call-only ads to start. Focus on just responsive search ads. In another video, we'll talk more about when and why to use call-only ads, but just know that they serve pretty much nearly not as often as this will. So first, let's go ahead and digest the layout of the responsive search ad, how it works, what it looks like, and what all of this confusing stuff in this menu means. At the very top, and for you, you'll probably have nothing written, right? Your ad will probably be blank, but for the sake of this video, the very top, you'll have this ad strength indicator here. It's just basically going to make recommendations on how to improve your ad strength, right? More obvious stuff like, hey, use more headlines, include keywords in your campaign in your headlines, use unique headlines and descriptions. That doesn't matter. You can ignore it completely. Now, ad strength is basically just a recommendation. It's Google's AI way of telling you what they think of your ad. Like, hey, we think your ad is average. We think your ad is great. We think your ad is excellent. This will not impact your performance or metrics or anything at all. It doesn't impact how your ads serve, what your cost per click is. It doesn't impact any of that. It's simply just a cosmetic or visual guideline to kind of guide you to write better ads. Should you listen to it and pay attention to it? Sure, if your ad strength is poor, then maybe double check your ads. Maybe your ad really does suck. But if it's average and you feel confident in the ads you've written, that's totally fine. It's not going to impact anything. It's just an AI recommendation. Really, it's just trying to keyword stuff and make you use as much as possible. But on to the next thing. So at the very top, you're going to have your final URL. This is the page that you are sending your visitors to when they click your ad. You want to ensure you are using a landing page or a service specific page. So in this example here, this is a leaf removal ad group. I should send the user to a leaf removal page, not my home page, right? If my home page has no mention of leaf removal or it's just not focused on leaf removal, why would I send traffic there, right? So I'm going to send them to my leaf removal landing page or whatever URL that would be for you. So ensure you're sending users to a specific landing page or a service page that is relevant to what you're advertising, right? Don't send them to a contact page or an about page. A lot of people get that wrong. They'll send traffic to a contact page, but that means nothing. No one wants to click on an ad and get taken straight to a form. They want to get taken to a page about leaf removal, learn about your company, see some company truck pictures and team pictures, know that you're local, and then they can call you or fill out the form. So landing page, service specific page. Next is going to be your display path. You don't have to utilize this. I would say this is a little bit more advanced, quote unquote, we could say, but really all this does is it changed this display path here. So your post URL. So if we did testing, it would show testing here. Well, hopefully, there we go. So it would show testing or whatever we put here. I could say, $50 off or something like that. And then in the display path, as you see here, it shows $50 off or whatever I wrote. This does not alter the final URL, meaning this does not change where users go. So you can make this say whatever, even if that page doesn't exist. Again, this is basically just cosmetic. This is simply visual. So I don't use it always. Like in this case, leaf removal is good enough. So we don't need to use this. We could just remove it and then our thing would just say leaf removal. But in the case you want to maybe advertise a specific offer or like maybe your slug URL is like super weird and just kind of looks bad, then you could go ahead and simplify it into like leaf removal, or you could do something more like local, like Scottsdale leaf removal. And then it really kind of pulls in the user and they can get a quick idea on exactly who you are and what you do, right? So again, display path is probably one of those more optional parts of the RSA. Next, we have our headlines. Again, I've already filled this out a little bit. Google gives you up to 15 headlines you can fill out and 4 descriptions entirely. Now, unlike some people, I actually don't recommend utilizing all 15 headlines. Keep in mind that Google will mostly, 90% of the time, only show 2 headlines in an ad at a time, right? So when you fill these out, Google's going to be kind of like dynamically and automatically rotating and swapping in headlines, testing out to find which performs the best. But we also want to be able to optimize, split test, and make adjustments to these ad copy, right? So I try to stick to like 8 headlines just because me personally, I feel that 15 is overkill. And if I wanted to split test, it's really hard to know what specific headline is working when there's 15 headlines. But when there's like 8 or 6 headlines, it's a little bit easier to kind of get a feel for what type of messaging or ad copy or tone is working in my ads in terms of what's leading to a high click-through rate. So you can fill out all 15 headlines. I tend to fill out somewhere roughly around 8 headlines. Again, you can fill out as many as you want, but do more than 4. You don't want to just be that person who just does 2 headlines unless, like, for whatever reason, you just know this is going to work. But there's a reason Google has this new ad type called responsive search ads, and there's a reason we rotate headlines, right? It works incredibly well. Google optimizes it very well, so fill it out. But you don't have to fill out all 15. Same thing here with descriptions. You could probably do 3 or 4. I think most of the time I'm always doing 4, especially at the agency. We're usually always filling out all 4 because why not? 2, again, same thing. You want to be able to have some flexibility when your ads to rotate and test. So try to fill out these as much as possible. And then most of this stuff here below, you'll have already set up at your assets and extensions level, but you can also add them here. Really, most of this, which is going to be your assets and extensions, should be set up at the campaign level, unless for whatever reason you want to add like a specific one. Then you could go ahead and add a ad group specific or an ad group level asset and extension. But the only one that makes sense here, which I actually don't have for whatever reason to show you guys, is the image. The image should be at the ad group level, especially when you have different services or products. So for example, most of this stuff here we can leave untouched, but you guys may have a little snippet here that says images, and you could add images that are specific to your specific ad group, keyword, or whatever this theme is, right? So for me, this is leaf cleanup. I would add images to my ad that are specific to leaf cleanup, and don't use stock images. You want to never use stock images. Make sure you're using images that are like actually taken by you, like you and your team, right? Even if it's low quality, it's totally fine. Pictures of my crew, my guys, or me picking up leaves, actually working on customers' yards, real authentic pictures, right? We don't need to be graphic designers here. This doesn't need to be like framed in a Hall of Fame art museum. We just need pictures of us and our team working hard at work so that people know, like, oh cool, they're local, they do leaf cleanup, right? Duh, easy, simple stuff. And most people do not do images, so it's a huge advantage. Here's a quick little tidbit. I just went ahead and Googled leaf removal cleanup near me. You'll see no one here is using images. There are 4 ads here, none of them are using images. Now, they're not always going to show. Google may sometimes not show them, but still, you can imagine how much an image would impact this, right? I mean, imagine a picture of a guy cleaning up leaves right here. That ad right here would stick out so much more than these, right? These without the images, they all look the same, but one with an image of you or your team or your truck or whatever would stand out a lot. Use image assets. Great, now you know what an RSA is, or responsive search ad, and you actually know which each piece of this little crazy puzzle function is. So how do you write ad copy? And there's probably a couple videos I can make on this with tips and tricks, but for right now, first thing I'm going to say is don't overcomplicate it. It really isn't hard. You do not need to take a copywriting class, or you don't need to be a master of ad copy to write ad copy for most of these like local lead gen service-based companies, home services, stuff like that, right? It's really, really simple. First, search intent. Your ads, your headlines, your ad copy should be relevant to what the user is searching, right? So all of our keywords here are specific to leaf removal and leaf cleanup in Scottsdale. So if I'm typing in leaf removal in Scottsdale, I want to see an ad that says the exact same thing I'm searching. So keep your first few headlines specific to your keyword, which is exactly what I did here. Basically, I'm just using some of my keywords as headlines or expanding upon them, right? What is it I'm doing? What am I advertising? What's my service? Leaf removal. Where am I? Scottsdale. Scottsdale leaf removal. Leaf cleanup in Scottsdale. Scottsdale leaf experts. Super, super simple. Took me 10 seconds to come up with, but the point is it's relevant to the search intent. These people all did a great job, except for this one. This one says, get your free quote today, get a free estimate. That doesn't really tell me what they do, right? If I didn't spend more than 30 seconds looking at this ad and I just glance at it, I'd have no idea what that means. What am I getting a free quote for? Why am I getting a free estimate? Whereas this one, tackling yard cleaning. Okay. Affordable leaf cleanup. Got it. That's what I'm looking for. Spring yard cleaning. Yep, that's what I'm looking for, right? So you want to write ad copy that is relevant to what the user is searching. Obviously, don't do like too cookie cutter, too basic, too generic stuff. I mean, yeah, this is pretty basic, but Scottsdale leaf experts is better than just leaf removal, right? Scottsdale leaf removal is a little bit better than just simply leaf removal. So first part of the ad, search intent. Make sure that your headlines and your ad copy or whatever is relevant to what the user is searching. An example of a bad headline would probably be landscaping company, right? So am I a landscaping company? Yeah, I am a landscaping company. Wow, I really spelled that wrong. There we go. Landscaping company. Yeah, I'm a landscaping company, but I'm not going to use that as my headline. That's not what someone's searching. They're not looking for landscaping company. No, they're looking for leaf cleanup, right? So instead, I would have, leaf removal in Scottsdale or whatever I had before. Second part of your headlines, your ad copy, should be your hook, right? What's actually pulling them in? Okay, cool. I know that you're in Scottsdale and you do leaf removal. But now what? Maybe something catchy, maybe a variation of the headline like this. Fall leaves, we'll handle it, right? Kind of cool. It's still the exact same thing. It's just a little bit more unique. Maybe it stands out a little bit more. No leaves, just lawn. All right, same thing. Tells me exactly what they do. But what are some other variations of hooks, right? Obviously, hooks can be a lot more creative depending on the niche. But for this, it's pretty simple. Maybe it's just simply a promotion or an offer. $25 off leaf removal. If we go back to these ads here, these are all pretty much the exact same. But if one of these ads was offering $25 off, you're probably going to click that because really, what's the difference between leaf removal jobs or leaf removal companies? You do the same thing, you do the same thing, you do the same thing, you do the same thing. But hey, this guy, he's giving me $25 off. Boom. That'd be a good offer, a good hook, right? Something to bring someone in. Call now for a free quote. Yeah, that's probably done everywhere and overdone and expected, but it's still a hook. 50 plus reviews, right? Kind of showing you the authority or showing you that we're the best in the area. We have more reviews than anyone else. Call now, right? Stuff like that. Those are hooks. Basically action-based headlines that either make someone take action by telling them to, like call now, book now, get a free quote, or kind of showing authority. 50 plus reviews, or really just kind of pulling them in. $25 off, 50% off, save today, call now and save today, stuff like that. Those are your hooks. All you want to do to write successful ad copy in Google is search intent plus a hook. Search intent plus a hook, right? So we can go ahead and kind of skim through these. $25 off leaf removal. Fall leaves, we handle it. Okay, these look pretty good so far, right? Kind of skim through these. These are all looking pretty good. 50 plus reviews, call now. These look great. See, these would definitely pull in a high click-through rate because it's relevant to what the user is searching and it has a hook to pull them in. Leaf cleanup in Scottsdale, these are great. This is really the primary focus behind writing good ad copy, put in its simplest form. If this video is 10 seconds long, this is the only thing I would tell you. Search intent, meaning your headlines are relevant to what the users are searching, and pair it with a good assets and extensions in Google Ads. Let's talk about them, how to use them, what each one means, and which you should be using for your Google Ad campaigns. If you don't already know, you can navigate to the Assets and Extensions tab by selecting the campaign. Make sure you choose your campaign. I recommend doing this at the campaign level and then navigating to assets. So first one we'll cover is going to be business name. This is pretty self-explanatory. This just lets you add in your business name to show right above your ad copy. If you go ahead and click this blue plus button, it's going to prompt you to complete advertiser verification, which you should do for your account. It takes a couple minutes. Obviously, this is like a demo account, so I haven't done that, but it's pretty simple. You'd create that blue plus button, and then from there, you just type in your business name. The only catch, your business name that you put here in the asset needs to match what your legal business name is that you upload to Google. So if your business is, Roofing LLC, but you want to type in, something like David's Roofing, it's not going to work. You'd have to type it in so it matches. Now here for your business logo, same thing, very self-explanatory. It's just a tiny little logo, almost like a favicon that shows next to your ad. Highly recommend it. Honestly, a lot of people don't know that they can add these two assets and extensions yet, so there's a lot of ads that don't utilize these. But definitely add in a business logo, definitely add in a business name. Super easy, takes 2 minutes. Next one here is site links. I have a couple just because this is an old demo account. I will say these are not good looking site links. This isn't anything fancy, but there are some, demos you can look at. Site links basically let you kind of have additional ad copy, really. It takes up real estate, as you can see. This is exactly what it looks like. So if we had one here that said site link 1, then we had some descriptions, you would see it would add these links underneath the ad directly, and sometimes they actually pop out a lot more and they look different, right? But the best way to look at site links is you can take people to specific parts of your website. So maybe you have a pricing page, right? So you can send people to the pricing page, and then you would have www.website.com/pricing, right? And then you would add in a description or whatever. That way people who are searching your ad, sometimes they'll see that. Sometimes the site link just shows like this, which is kind of not the best looking demo. It's just simply a flat link. Other times it shows the full thing, meaning it will show the link, it will show the description 1, description 2, and everything. Best way to think about site links is to kind of use it like additional ad copy, right? Like, what other links do I want to take people to, right? Are they interested in pricing? Maybe it's book now. Maybe you have a special offers, right? So you say like view offers, or maybe you're advertising multiple services, so you want to take people to like pergolas or landscaping, right? Just kind of think of site links as like additional ad copy, right? Again, going back to my example, not the best example, but you can see here, this is just what a couple might look like, right? So book an appointment, it'll serve underneath there, and then obviously there's a few. They usually always serve at once, and I'll show you some examples here in a bit, but highly recommend site link. You need to have at least 4, only 4 show at a time. So usually I create like 6 just so I can test a couple different ones out. Headline and description are, these are new. These are actually the exact same things you put in ad copy. The only difference is this is at the campaign level. So I don't really ever use this, but the best case to use it is maybe if you have like a seasonal offer or something you want to add in your ad copy that you want to remove at once. That way you can type something in such as 20% off only now or whatever, right? And then when you save it, it'll save at the campaign level. So now this ad or this headline is eligible for all ads in the campaign. And then when you're done or when this offer expires, it's easy enough to just remove it. That way you don't have to go one by one at every ad and remove that headline. You can just do it at once. So this is really just kind of like bulk ad copy. You can think about it. To be honest though, you'll probably never use headline description. I don't ever use it. I just do things at the ad level. So these two, not so much important. But now call outs, these are important. Similar to site links, I treat them as additional ad copy. Callouts aren't links though, they're just simply text that appear underneath. So typically people just do callouts to call out their services, what makes them stand out, or again, just kind of think of it like additional headlines. These are like extra headlines Google's giving you. So maybe you do, plus 50 years experience, free installation, right? 20% off installation, whatever it is, right? It's just these little additional site links, these additional callouts that appear at the bottom of the ad, kind of like that, right? Pretty simple stuff. Again, I do highly recommend it. They just kind of make your ad pop, and it just gives you more of an opportunity to kind of capture the audience and tell them why to choose your ad, why to click on you, why to go through you. And at the end of the day, every asset and extension does take up more real estate on the Google search engine, right? So the more content you have on your ad, the bigger your ad is, which makes your ad stand out, right? There's another one here that's actually not shown. It would be somewhere right here after business name. It's going to be the image asset. Now the reason it's not shown on my account is because I haven't ran any ads here. Traditionally, you need I think 30 to 60 days of data before it allows you to add an image, but I highly recommend adding images to your campaigns. It just serves alongside the ad. And again, I'll show you an example here shortly. But images are perfect. If you're advertising pergolas, obviously you would include an image of a pergola or whatever's relevant. Now for call, this is super self-explanatory again. This is how that you actually can get phone calls from your extension. So you would just add this at the campaign level or maybe the account level if you have one phone number. Then you would just type in your phone number here, right? And then click save. Obviously you do have to accept their terms and conditions just so that you can utilize their call tracking, but that's a no-brainer if you're in lead gen. Lead form, this is another super interesting one if you're in lead gen. Honestly, I don't use these as often. I should though. It's always worth testing. You should test everything out, honestly. But really self-explanatory, especially if you've ran Facebook ads before. It's basically just a form. You can customize the form, right? You can scroll down, it walks you through it. You can choose what questions or prompts you want, all that good stuff. You can't customize the questions, but you can kind of go through their little process, and they have loads of questions kind of pre-filled. So you should be able to qualify exactly what you're looking for. Really not much to cover here. I don't use it that often, but they're pretty good. I mean, I've seen clients use them and they work pretty well. Most of the time we just drive traffic to the landing page and get forms that way. But like I said, it's worth testing. It's easy to set up and you can sync it to like a CRM or your email. So definitely worth a shot. Location asset. This is probably one of my favorites. Why? Especially if you're in lead gen, you can sync your Google business profile to your Google ads. Now you don't control when or how they serve or anything like that, but it's really nice because not only does it show your physical address occasionally under the ads, it also makes your ad serve as sponsored in the Google Map section. So have you ever seen a sponsored Google business profile ad or a sponsored ad in the map pack? This is how. It's because someone synced their Google business profile or their location to their Google Ads account right here. Price is another one I don't use often, but it's still valuable. Traditionally, I think of it more for like SaaS companies, or if you want to outline your pricing, like maybe you're a window cleaner, an auto detailer, or you're selling a software, you can kind of go ahead and change that. So you could have like product tiers for service tiers and it'd be like $19.99 a month, $39.99 a month. Or again, if like a window cleaner, you could do something like window cleaning starting at $149, right? So you can add a little headline, obviously your price, if it's like a per unit or per hour or something like that, you can do that as well. Description, final URL, then you can have multiple, so you can have more than one. You can have a couple, but they're definitely worthwhile, especially when you make them appear. So we did like window cleaning and we did, 149. You can kind of see it shows like that, or if we did starting at 149, you can just kind of add all sorts of things. It's actually pretty good. I mean, it gives the transparency up front to the customer. It's a pretty solid extension. It's just, there's not a lot of niches you want to use it for, obviously, right? But it works. It's another one of those things where it's like, hey, give it a shot, right? Test it out. Sometimes I don't test it out because I notice it will actually drop our click-through rate if we give our pricing up front. But again, that really just depends on the niche and on the client you're serving. But it looks cool. Definitely may fit some of your niches. Next is app. Don't really do anything with this. I mean, unless you're advertising an app, which 99.9% of what you watch in this video probably aren't running ads for an app. But if you were, this is how you would, sync that Google Play Store so that people can download it on Android and iOS. And then, obviously it has to get approved and some stuff, but that's a little bit more complicated. I don't think anyone here needs to worry about that. Promotion. This one's great. As you can see right here, you can advertise a promotion, right? So you can do monetary or percent. Like let's say it's Black Friday, right? In your, in e-commerce or furniture store or retail or whatever, if you're doing a sale, you could say 25% off. The occasion here would be Black Friday. You can choose the occasion. You can have no occasion. I could say store-wide, or I can say everything, right? So it's a Black Friday, 25% off everything, right? And that's how it looks. That's super useful. You can also go monetary, so I can say like up to $50 off, Black Friday up to 50, save 50. And then I can even link them to a specific page or a collection or whatever it may be, or just your home page. But this one's great. You can also choose some details, like if there's a promo code, you can include the promo code here so that users know. Otherwise, if it's like a specific thing, like only on orders over $100, you can do that. And then again, if this is like a seasonal offer, you can just select an end date. That way you don't have to, remember. You can kind of just set it and forget about it. So that's super useful. But in a nutshell, if you're doing lead gen, the ones you absolutely should include are going to be image assets, business name, business logo, site links, call outs, structured snippets, and call extensions. You should include locations, but that's just one of those where it works for some and it works for others. It doesn't work for others and it works for some. But the good thing about the location asset is you can actually see its performance down here, and I'll break that down in a later video. Now here's a quick Google search I did for pergolas in Gilbert, right where I'm located, and we got two pretty solid ads that popped up here. We can see some examples of some different extensions and assets, right? So this one right here, most obvious, it's an image asset. You can see why I recommend it so much, because which ad caught your eye first? Probably this one with the image asset, even though it's the second ad. Definitely pretty eye-catching. This right here is going to be the logo, so you can see that's their company logo. And then right here's the actual business name. So those are those two assets we discussed. This right here is a headline, obviously. This is the description. And then you can see here, because we're hovering over it, and you can probably see that URL in the bottom left. These are going to be their 4 site links. So you can see how they utilize the site links just basically are telling us different type of pergolas, so the pergola builders, kits, gazebos, and all that stuff. And then these people also utilized it, just showcasing some other services or products they offer. Right here is actually their pricing. So they're probably telling you something that like, hey, a 10 by 10 pergola is starting at $4,000, going up to 2040 or custom. And then I can pull a lot more. So I can click more and see more pricing. That's the price asset. Again, very useful actually. I like how they're using that. And then right here is going to be the location. So you can see this is synced by the Google Business Profile. So it's pulling data from their Google Business Profile to tell me that they're closed today. I can check the hours. And if I click on this, it will probably take me to their profile, or it will take me to get directions to their profile or their physical location. And then right here is going to be a call extension or a call asset. Not super valuable for me because I'm on a desktop right now, but obviously if you were on a mobile phone, this would look a lot different, and it would just be a click of a button to call that company. Assets and extensions, they are a necessity. They take up a lot of real estate in the Google search bar, so definitely make sure you're utilizing them.